Building on that, protecting data during transit begins with a plain claim. All sensitive flows must be encrypted end-to-end, with clear ownership for where encryption starts and where it terminates. Encryption without verification is weak, so peers must authenticate before any secrets move. A concrete example is forcing browser connections to use a secure transport to an application gateway that presents a trusted certificate and passes traffic only after policy checks. Avoid opportunistic settings that silently downgrade. In environments with internal services, apply the same rule. Inside is not automatically safe. Simple rule, broad reach. From there, prefer modern protocols over legacy, because age often means known flaws and poor defaults. Favor current transport standards rather than outdated versions that allow weak negotiation or downgrade tricks. Imagine a legacy client insisting on an old handshake while the server falls back quietly. The connection works but invites attack. Plan migrations, stage gates, and fallback removal so changes are controlled rather than abrupt. Publish deprecation dates and communicate them widely. Old paths linger unless someone closes them on purpose. Continuing the progression, enforce strong cipher and version policies so negotiations cannot slip into unsafe territory. A policy should name allowed versions, suites, and curves, and the server should refuse anything else. For example, disable export grade or obsolete algorithms and require forward secrecy so stolen keys cannot decrypt old traffic. Test these rules with scanners before customers do. Document exceptions by system and timebox them. Strong policy beats hopeful defaults. Building further, treat certificates as living credentials with issuance, rotation, and revocation discipline. Automate issuance from a controlled authority, rotate before expiry, and revoke swiftly when names, endpoints, or keys change. Picture a service that renews certificates automatically and publishes revocation information that clients actually check. Track who can request names and where private keys reside. Short lifetimes reduce exposure. Hygiene here prevents quiet failure later. From there, use mutual authentication for sensitive connections, so both sides prove identity, not just the server. Client certificates, device attestations, or signed tokens can raise assurance for administrative APIs, service-to-service calls, and partner links. Imagine an internal control plane that accepts changes only from clients presenting approved credentials bound to hardware. Start with the riskiest paths. Stronger handshakes shrink the chance of impersonation. Building on identity strength, pin endpoints where appropriate and carefully so clients know which certificates or keys are valid for a host. Pinning reduces the blast radius of a compromised authority, but it must allow planned key changes without lockouts. Use short pins with rollover strategies and keep an escape path for emergencies. For example, pin to a set rather than a single key. Rigid pins break, flexible pins bend. From there, manage keys with controlled access, separation of duties, and clear custody. Keys are the crown jewels. Limit who can read, export, or replace them, and log every attempt. Rotate keys on schedule and after suspicion, and back them up encrypted with split knowledge. A small story helps. One engineer should not be able to both approve and deploy a production key. Guard the steps. Procedure prevents quiet mistakes. Continuing the protection stack, use hardware-backed storage when possible, so keys live in secure modules that resist extraction. Hardware security modules and trusted platform chips can generate, store, and perform cryptographic operations without revealing raw material. Even if an attacker reaches the host, the key remains sealed. Measure coverage, not anecdotes. The more keys anchored in hardware, the smaller the theft surface. From there, design session creation with explicit lifetimes, idle limits, and renewal rules tied to risk. Long sessions invite theft. Infinite sessions invite regret. A practical pattern sets short tokens, renewable through quiet refresh, and forces reauthentication on sensitive transitions. For example, a user who changes bank details must reprove identity even if their session is active. Write the rules down. Sessions should age with purpose. Building further, revalidate identity for risky actions rather than trusting a single login forever. Step-up checks, such as multi-factor prompts, hardware-backed approvals, or re-signing with fresh tokens, should guard administrative tasks and sensitive transactions. Imagine a support agent opening a customer vault. The system asks for a second factor, despite an existing session. Make the moment clear. Users accept friction when it protects what matters. From there, protect cookies and tokens from theft using flags, scopes, and careful storage. Mark cookies as secure and not readable by scripts. Bind tokens to origins and audiences, and prefer memory storage over long-lived persistent caches. Split privileges across token types so one leak does not grant full control. A short sentence matters. Keep secrets off the page. Continuing the watch, detect session reuse and fixation attempts with signals that track device traits, network context, and token metadata. If the same token appears from two places at once or is glued to a new session unexpectedly, treat it as high risk. In a micro scenario, a stolen token from a phishing page shows up in a new city within minutes. The system invalidates it and locks the flow. Alert and explain. Swift cuts stop spread. From there, log cryptographic failures with enough context to fix issues without exposing sensitive data. Record which handshake failed, which policy blocked, and which endpoint erred. Then correlate with change records and certificate events. Avoid logging raw keys or secrets. A crisp error that points to a policy and time helps owners repair fast. Good logs save nights. In closing, confidentiality and session integrity emerge from a chain of disciplined choices made visible through policy and evidence. Modern protocols, strong ciphers, mutual trust, careful pinning, and guarded keys set the baseline, while session design, revalidation, and theft resistance keep identity honest over time. Measure coverage and failures, tune without guesswork. The outcome is simple and strong. Data stays private in motion, and sessions remain bound to the people and systems that earned them. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.